Well, welcome back to all the students of third semester. My name is A. Srinivas. I'm an assistant professor of English. I'm working at Government Degree College Sciences, Adilabad, and this college is accredited with B grade by NAC. Today, we will look at a question that is very important from the examination point of view, and it is also easy and scoring. And this topic is prefix. Prefix. Yeah, let us know what a prefix is. In this particular slide, you can see today we are using some kind of color and animation or some kind of design to our PowerPoint slides. So here you can see in this slide, a prefix is a letter or a group of letters, and it is added at the beginning of a word. These are the two important points you have to keep in mind as far as the meaning of prefix is concerned. A prefix is either a single letter or a group of letters, and it is added at the beginning of a word. That's why it is called prefix. You fix it at the beginning of the letter or to the beginning of the word. So why do we use prefix, this kind of prefix, and what is the purpose of prefix? The purpose of a prefix is to form new words. That is, if a language has to grow, if a language has to be living and growing, we need newer and newer words. We need richer and richer vocabulary. So, with the purpose of forming new words and adding new words into a language, we use the method of prefixing. And for example, I mean, if you add prefix, what happens is this kind of adding a letter or a group of letters to the already existing words. Sometimes it leads to changes in meaning. That is, if you add a prefix to a particular existing word, the meaning of that word will obviously change. And by adding prefix to the existing words, the part of speech of that particular word also undergoes changes, and sometimes it also makes a change in the number of the word. That is, if it is a singular, by adding a prefix or a suffix, what happens is you can change the number of the word. That is, a singular can be made into a plural by adding a prefix. So what is the meaning of the prefix? It is a letter or a group of letters added at the beginning of a word, and it is used to form new words. It is used to add new words to the language corpus, linguistic corpus or vocabulary corpus. And by adding prefix, what happens is the existing word undergoes changes in so far as meaning is concerned, in so far as part of speech is concerned, and in so far as number is concerned. So prefix is a very important aspect. For example, the word the prefix un, that un is a good two letter prefix which can be added to the existing word avoidable. And by adding the prefix un, you create a new word that is unavoidable, which is the opposite of the word, which is the antonym of the word in another sense. So you are creating a new word by adding a prefix to the existing word. And keep in mind that the existing word avoidable is also a combination of two words, that is avoid and able. So the existing word can also be a combination of two words and you are adding another prefix. You are adding a prefix to the existing word to form a new word. So prefix is actually is a very easy thing to understand, and let us look at in the next slide what kinds of prefixes are there and how different prefixes are formed. Yeah, here you can see in this slide, you can see right now. Here one of the important groups of prefixes is where you find where the new words are formed and the new words are opposites of the existing words, and the new words also indicate sometimes the absence of something. So this is a very important group of prefixes where you find the opposites or where you form the opposites by adding prefixes. So now let us take here in this slide, there is a long list of words where you find number of words with different kinds of prefixes, and all these words mean they form the opposite or the absence of something. So just look at the first one, abnormal. Abnormal. Normal is an existing word. To that to that word, the ab, the prefix, is added to form the abnormal, which is the opposite of normal. So normal, abnormal are opposite to each other. In the same way, in the second word, uh, you have added, or we have added anti to the existing word social. Social is an existing word, is already there in the corpus of vocabulary, the bank of vocabulary, and to that word you are adding a prefix. What is the prefix you have added? anti, that is anti, that is opposite. It indicates the opposite of social. Social and antisocial are opposite to each other in meaning. So you find a number of antisocial elements these days who work against the society, against the interests of the society. So in the same way you have anti-climax. Anti-climax. Climax is an existing word. To that word anti is added. Anti is the prefix here. So in three words you have seen how prefixes are added to the existing words to form the opposite in meaning. In climax also, in the last word climax also, you have added anti to form the opposite or the absence of climax. Suppose if there is no absence, there is absence of climax or something that is opposite to climax that is happening in a particular movie, then you call it anti-climax. So in some movies you will find climax is something that is exactly the opposite of what the audience think of. So anticlimax can be that. So abnormal, antisocial, anticlimax. In all these words you will find the prefixes, how prefixes have created newer words with the meaning which is opposite to the existing word. In the same way, asymmetrical. In this asymmetry is also, or sometimes you pronounce it as asymmetry. So symmetry and asymmetry are opposite to each other in meaning. In the same way, a theist is one who believes in God, and a theist is one who does not believe in the existence of God. So in these words you have added only one single letter as a matter of prefix. A is added to the existing word in case of asymmetry or asymmetry. So symmetry and asymmetry. In the same way, theist and atheist. So in these two words you have added only single letter. So a single letter can also function as a prefix, and to here just by adding one single letter it has created the opposite another word which is opposite in meaning. So in the next line you will see immature. immature. In this line, the third line, immature and impractical, both the words have the same kind of prefix, that is im. Mature and immature are opposite in meaning. The mature is an already existing word, and you are adding im as a prefix to form the opposite in meaning. A person who is not mature is called immature. A person who is not practical is called impractical. So practical and impractical are opposite in meaning. So just by adding im, you are forming another word that is opposite meaning. In the same way, in the next line, in the fourth one, legal and illegal. So something that is not legal is illegal. Something that is not legible is illegible. Legible handwriting, illegible handwriting. So legible handwriting is very clear, crystal clear, whereas illegible handwriting is the opposite of legible handwriting, that is not clear. So here, just by adding il to the existing word, you are forming a word, a new word, which is opposite in meaning. So the opposites of words in English language can be formed in a number of ways by adding prefixes. So here you see ab, ab, anti, anti, and just by adding one single letter a, and im, il, in all these all these are prefixes which you use to form newer words which are opposite in meaning. In the next line, that is the fifth line, inactive and inattentive. Inactive and inattentive. Active, inactive, attentive, inattentive. Suppose if you are not active, what you do is you call inactive, you call it inactive. If you are not attentive, what you call it? Inattentive. So just by adding in, you are forming a new word which is the opposite in meaning, or the absence. Suppose if you are not active, if activeness is absent, you call it inactiveness. Suppose if you identify lack of attention, you call it inattentive. So here in the fifth one, in is the prefix that is added to the existing word. In the same way, in the next line, the sixth one, sense and nonsense. Nonsense, sensical, nonsensical. Absence of sense is indicated by adding the prefix non. So a new word is formed here which is opposite in meaning. Nonsense is the absence or the opposite of the sense. In the same way, payment, non-payment, no payment. If you have not paid, it's called non-payment. It is called non-payment. So here also, what is the prefix there? non, non. Non is like lack, no. So in the next word, non-violence, violence, non-violence. Lack of violence, lack of violence is non-violence. So just by adding in all these words, just by adding non as a prefix, you are forming new words which indicate the opposite of meaning, or sometimes the absence of the something. So for example, Gandhiji followed non-violent ways. He fought for the independence of India in a non-violent way. And in the last line, you can see another group of words where a typical prefix is added, which is very common in English language, un. And by adding this prefix un, you can form a number of words which are opposite in meaning. For example, academic, unacademic. Academic, unacademic. Unacademic is the opposite of academic. In the same way, available, unavailable. Available, unavailable. Is your father available at home? No, my father is unavailable or not available. Okay? Critical, uncritical. Don't be critical of me. Don't be too much of critical of something. So that is uncritical. Uncritical. Let us not be too critical. Let us be uncritical. So just by adding un, you have formed the opposite of the word. Official, unofficial. Official, unofficial. Just by adding un to the existing word official, you have formed the opposite of the word. And in the same way, usual, unusual. Usual, unusual. Usual, unusual. Something that is not usual, you call it unusual. So in all these words, this is a group of words where you can see different kinds of prefixes are used to form the opposite of the word, or sometimes it also indicates the absence of something in those words. For example, if you recall, if you try to revise, AB, ab, anti, anti, just the letter A in the words asymmetry, atheist, and in the next line, I am, again IL, and IN, NON, UN. So these are all the prefixes that are added to the existing words to form new words which are opposite in meaning. This is a group of words. So if you read them a number of times, and if you write them a number of times, and if you check the meaning of those words in the dictionary by using a dictionary, you can learn all those words, and you can find some more words if you go to dictionary or Google or an online dictionary. Now let us take another group of words, which is also a very important group of words from the point of view of prefixes. So here different kinds of prefixes are added to form new words, and these new words which are formed by adding the prefix indicate a reversal of action, or the action that is quite opposite to the action indicated in the existing word. Now let us take some examples and which are given in this slide. So can you read those words quickly? Yeah, the first one is defrost. Frost, defrost. For example, if you open your refrigerator, you will find a button where it is written defrost. So what you do is, by pressing the defrost button, you empty the ice. You empty the ice from that ice chamber, and the frosting action is reversed. The action of frosting gets reversed if you press the defrost button. So by defrosting, what you are doing is you are reversing the action that is done by the word frost. In the same way, compose, decompose. Decomposition is an important aspect you learn in your science subject. Decomposition of bodies, dead bodies get decomposed. So compose and decompose. Decompose indicates a reversal of action which is mentioned in compose. In the same way, rail, derail. A train or a rail that gets off the track, you call it derail. You often hear the news of derailment of a particular train and injuries to passengers. So rail and derail. Attach and detach. The opposite of attach is detach. If you separate something from something else, you call it detach. So defrost, decompose, derail, detach. In all these words you find the prefix de. It is pronounced as D. In the next group of words, disagree, agree, disagree, connect, disconnect, allow, disallow, arm, disarm, obey, disobey. In all these words, what is the prefix that you find? It is dis, that is dis. So by adding dis as a prefix, you are indicating the reversal of action. The action is reversed. Agree, disagree, no agree, connect, disconnect. If you separate it, it is called disconnect. Allow, disallow. Not, if you are not allowing, you call it disallow. So this is also a very important group of words in as far as prefix is concerned. In the next group of words which you normally do not find, a very rare prefix is added: function, malfunction. If something is not working properly, you call it malfunctioning of the cell phone. Function and malfunction are kind of the opposite or reversal of action. Administration, another word that is you find administration. And what is the misadministration? That is maladministration. If a particular person is not administering properly, you call it maladministration. Maladministration, wrong administration, bad administration. Okay. And in the next group of words you will find behave, misbehave, judge, misjudge, place and misplace. All these words take miss as a prefix and to indicate the reversal of action. And in the next group of words, in the last group of words, here you will find do, undo. So it is often said that you cannot undo what you have done as far as your thoughts and actions and speech is concerned. You cannot take back your words. Though you can express apology and sorry, you cannot undo what you have done. So do, undo, plug, unplug, zip, unzip. In all these words, what is the prefix that is added to form new words and to indicate reversal of action? That is un, un. Now let us take another group of words quickly, and this group of words indicate time and order, or it also indicates rank. For example, take the first one, antecedent. Antecedent, that is, this is something it is required. Antecedents are required in case of for example, if you get a job, what happens is your antecedent report is asked by the authorities. That is what you have done previously, what kind of record, whether your record is genuine or not, whether your particulars, your information is genuine or not. This particular aspect is asked by the authorities. So this is called antecedent, that is previous record. And ex-president, this is ex also indicates previous. Ex-president, ex-principal, ex-minister is very frequently used in the context of India. Ex is someone who is previously present. So ex-president is the president who is previous to the present one. And in the next group of words you will find foreshadow, forewarn, shadow, foreshadow, warn, forewarn, word, forward. F-O-R-E, indicates the first one, the previous one here also. Shadow, foreshadow. Foreshadow is something that is the one that was present before the shadow. Or warn, forewarn. Suppose you are warning somebody in advance, that is called forewarn. Word, forward. Forward you find at the beginning of the particular text that is written by some well-known person. So word, forward. So in the next group of words you will find lunch, pre-lunch session. Pre-lunch session, that is the session that is before the lunch, that takes place before the lunch. You can also use post-lunch, post-lunch session, pre-lunch session are very frequently used words where you find the prefix pre and post. So these days cell phone is very highly frequent, very relevant and highly used by many people. So paid, prepaid, connection, cell phone connection, prepaid electricity meters. We are talking about prepaid electricity meters. So a lot of prepaid is going on. That is, you use the services before you you pay for the services before you actually use them. You pay in advance, then you use the service. Postpaid is something that is you use the service first. This is also very frequently used word, postpaid. You use the service first, then after using the service you pay the money for the service you have taken. So prepaid and postpaid services you find in the context of cell phone charges. And again you will find preview, that is before a particular movie is released, it is shown to some well-known people, so it is called preview of the movie. That is, if that is before it is actually viewed by the audience, it is shown to some people, well-known people, critics in the industry. That is called preview. And depending upon the preview, the movie is maybe received well or not, or some changes may also be made in some parts of the movie. Yes, in the next line you will find post independence, postpone, uh, prologue and epilogue. These two things you will find in dramas, in the plays. Prologue happens at the beginning, and epilogue comes at the end of the play. And you'll also you can also see post independence, pre independence and post independence. So the situations are different. Pre independence of India and post independence of India. That is, pre means before, post means after. Postpone, very frequently used, postpone. Sometimes we also use prepone by adding pre to the pone, but it actually according to grammatically correct English, prepone is not there. The word prepone is not used in academic circles. Actually the opposite of postpone can be advance. Right. In the next line you can see rewrite, write, rewrite, section, subsection. So here the prefix re is used in case of rewrite, and subsection sub sub is used in the case of section. So these are also two prefixes which are added to the word to indicate time, rank and order. And underdeveloped, developed, not so developed, a country that is not so developed, or a country that is still to be developed, or a country that is lagging behind in development, you call it underdeveloped. So there are a number of underdeveloped countries. All the third world countries are called underdeveloped. Some of them are called developing countries. For example, India is a developing country. Is of course the word, the meaning of the word is open for interpretation, but these words are very frequently used in the context of politics and economics. Developed and underdeveloped. Undersecretary, this word is used in the context of American administration, where you will find number of undersecretaries. Maybe it is also used in the context of Indian administration. I'm not too well versed with that. So under is a very frequently used prefix. You will find in day-to-day language also in number of words. So all this group of words indicate time and order, and sometimes rank also. Yeah, in the next group of words you will find a number of words which are formed by adding a number of different prefixes, which all these indicate degree and size. For example, archbishop is the prime bishop. Okay, the prime bishop. Sometimes you also use arch rival is the prime rival, the main rival. Okay, archbishop is the main bishop and arch rival is the main rival. And coexist, exist and coexist. So by adding cooperation, for example, cooperation, you are adding co to the existing word here, exist and operation, to form new words which indicate some kind of degree. Coexistence, that is living together. India always believed in coexistence of all people. Cooperation, you come together to help each other. That is called cooperate. And In the next one you will find one prefix extra, which is added to the word curricular to form a new word, that is extracurricular, something that is extra to the existing curriculum, that is called extracurricular. You use the word extracurricular activities are very important in colleges. So extracurricular activities, and in that word you have this prefix extra. So in the next word also extraordinary, ordinary, extraordinary, something that is better than the ordinary, you call it extraordinary. Extraordinary feat, extraordinary achievement. Yeah, in the next one, active, hyperactive. These days you will find some children who are hyperactive, that is more active, active to a higher degree, highly active. A person who is highly active can be called hyperactive, that is more than acceptable, more than normal. In the same way, hypersonic, sonic and hypersonic. Yeah, another in the next line you will see some more words where you will find different kinds of prefixes. For example, to the word economics, you can add macro and micro, which are both prefixes. Macroeconomics talks about broader aspects, a country, for example, whereas microeconomics talks about the individual level economics, or a unit level economics. So the size is bigger in case of macroeconomics, the size is smaller in case of microeconomics. You are also talking about micromanagement, that is if you are managing every detail, if you are able to manage every detail of particular thing, that is called micromanagement, which is not sometimes acceptable, of course. So macro and micro are two words, two prefixes which are added to the existing words to form new words which indicate higher degree or lower degree depending upon the prefix. And in the next line you can see number of words where you have mega as a prefix. City, mega city. Mega city is a bigger city. Star, mega star. Mega star is a big star who has got lot of popularity, lot of success. So living, mega living. I have recently read a book which is titled Mega Living by Robin Sharma. So mega living, these days we are talking about mega living, that is you are living in a high, you are doing lots of things, you are trying to achieve a number of things, that can be called mega living. Yeah, in the last line you will see rate, overrate, perform, underperform, scale, upscale. So different prefixes are added to these words. In the case of rate, over is added, OVER, overrate, underrate, overrate, both are there. Underperform, in the next word you have perform, underperform, that is if you are not performing up to a particular degree, up to a particular mark, that is called underperform. So upscale is also similar, which indicates a different kind of size, a higher size, upscale. Okay, overrate, underperform, upscale. So in all these words you'll find different prefixes which are added to the existing word to form new words which indicate a different kind of degree and size. Yeah, let us go to the next slide where you have a group of words. In all these group of words, a number of prefixes are added. See how language is evolving and how languages evolve, how English language is very rich as far as vocabulary is concerned. New and newer words can be formed by adding the existing prefixes, and a number of words that are present in English language, sometimes you wonder at the richness of English language. A number of new words are formed by adding a prefix to the existing word, and a new meaning is created, a new kind of part of speech is created, and a new kind of singular and plural number is created, word is created. That way Language gets enriched by adding newer words with newer meanings, with newer parts of speech. See, in this slide, you can see in all these words, by adding a prefix to the existing word, you indicate you form new words, and all those words indicate some kind of attitude of the speaker. For example, amoral, moral, amoral. You are adding a. In previous slides also you have seen how one singular a is added to indicate another meaning, to form a new word. So here moral, immoral is also there, amoral is also there. Amoral is absence of morality, absence of morality. Immoral is completely against the morality, completely against the morality. Here amoral is something that is something which is absent, that is morality is absent, then you call amoral. A person can be immoral, a person can be amoral. And in the same way, antisocial, social, antisocial. Social is a very positive attitude. If you are sociable is positive, whereas anti is something that is against the society, against the society. Antisocial elements, you talk about antisocial element. And the next one, anti-capitalistic. You'll find capitalism in America and anti-capitalistic. Socialism is often called anti-capitalistic. Anti-capital, anti means against the against. So anti-capitalistic is something that is against capitalism or capitalistic tendencies. In the next one, you will see anti-hero. Anti-hero, hero who is looking like a hero, but he is not acting, or inside his mind he is not a hero. He is not doing heroic acts. He is not behaving like a hero. So it refers to the attitude, anti-hero. Some movies are there where you will find, where you don't find a hero. Hero himself is a villain. Hero himself is a villain, and towards the end, his villainy is revealed towards the end of the movie. So there you call that hero as anti-hero. And in the next word you will find apolitical, political, apolitical. These days, some people you will find politically motivated. They profess their allegiance to a particular party, whereas some people, they do not profess, they are neutral, they do not profess allegiance to any political party. They do not, of course they will be having political views, but they stay neutral. That is, they stay apolitical. They are called apolitical. That is, they do not belong to this party, they do not have support for this another party, but they are neutral as far as politics is concerned. Such people are called apolitical. Yeah. In the next word you will see productive. And what is the prefix that is added there? Counter. Counter is added to the word productive. Counterproductive. So you are doing something which is counterproductive. Suppose you are doing something opposite. Your attitude is negative. It indicates negative. Negatively productive. Negatively productive. If proper results are not there, you call it counterproductive. So sometimes what we do is it becomes counterproductive to ourselves. So belief, in the next line you will find number of words: belief, disbelief, comfort, discomfort, courage, discourage, trust, distrust. In all these words, what is the prefix that is added? Dis, D-I-S. Belief, disbelief, lack of belief. Comfort, discomfort, no comfort, negative comfort. Courage, discourage, opposite to the courage. Trust, distrust, no trust. So dependent, in the next line you will see dependent, independent, lead, mislead, trust, mistrust. In all these words you will find in miss, M-I-S, miss. These prefixes are added to the existing words. And in the next line you will see capitalism, pro-capitalism, anti-capitalism, pro-capitalism. We have already come across the anti-capitalism, and now you can see how PRO, pro, is added. Pro means in favor of. Pro is in favor of capitalism. Anti is opposite to the capitalism. Consider reconsider. You want to reconsider. It shows your attitude. Resolve, solve, resolve. So you want to resolve the problem. So here also re is the prefix that is added to these words: consider, reconsider, solve, and resolve. Yeah, let us go to the next slide. Last two slides these are, then we'll go to the exercises. Yeah, so here in this slide you can see how a, again a singular letter a as a prefix is added to the existing words. Side, aside. Aside is, it indicates location. Okay, shore, ashore. Shore, ashore. Intravenous, venous, intravenous, inside the venous. Inside the venous is intravenous. Coat, overcoat. Okay, overcoat is something that you wear on the existing dress. Yeah, perimeter, periphery. In these words, what is the prefix? P-E-R-I is the prefix. Meter, perimeter. Periphery, peri, by adding peri, you form new word, that is periphery. Proceed and propel. In these words, what is the prefix? Pro, P-R-O is the prefix that is added to the existing word. Proceed, propel. In all these, in these two words, the prefix is P-R-O. And turn, return. In the next line you can see turn, return, wind, rewind, merge, submerge. So different kinds of prefixes are there. A number of types of prefixes are there, kinds of prefixes. You will find, you will wonder at the you will wonder at the richness of the prefixes. Number of prefixes that are used in the language. Sometimes you don't identify that there is a prefix in the word. So much ubiquitous and so much prevalence you will see of the prefixes. So return, rewind, and submerge. Subway, submerge, and subway. In these words, what is the prefix that is added? Sub, S-U-B, sub. And sometimes you'll also find synchrony, asynchrony also you'll find, but it's not properly spelled there, so you can check the word in the dictionary. Yeah, synchronous, asynchronous is that word is there. So by adding a, you find you indicate the location of that particular word, and a new word is also found. These days we are talking about symptomatic corona patients. Some patients they show the symptoms of the disease, whereas there are some patients who do not show any kinds of, as it is said that as many as 80% of the population who are affected, 80% of corona patients who are affected by coronavirus, they are not showing any virus. So such people are called asymptomatic patients. Asymptomatic patients. That is, just by adding a to symptom or symptomatic, you are forming a new word where you indicate the absence of the virus. So symptomatic, asymptomatic. Because it just I recalled that word, that's why I talked about that. Yeah, let us move on to the next line. Atlantic, transatlantic. Atlantic, transatlantic. That is a line that goes across the Atlantic. An airway, for example, an airway, an aeroplane that travels or goes from one continent to the other, one side of the Atlantic to the other side of the Atlantic, that is called transatlantic. Sometimes you have a transcontinental line, continental, transcontinental. A train, for example, that travels from one part of the continent to the other part or to other continents, then it is called transcontinental. That is, it covers the entire continent. It covers the entire continent. For example, the longest transcontinental railway you will find in Russia, the present Russia. So the longest continental train or line railway line that starts at the beginning of the one side of the continent and almost goes to the end of I mean towards the another part of the continent. Yeah, trans Himalayan, you also have the word. So be careful with the I mean hyphen in between the word, the existing word, and the prefix that is added. So some words which have become very I mean popular and people do not identify that there is this prefix added. There you don't have to use a prefix hyphen, but new word that is newly formed, not so popular, not so frequent in language, in such words what you do is you put a hyphen between the prefix and the existing word to show that it's recently formed. Yeah, let us go to the last slide where you will find number of examples um, which indicate number. So here also words are formed by adding different kinds of prefixes to indicate number. Yeah, in the first line you will say biannual. Biannual, bi means two here, annual, biannual, two times. Cycle, bicycle, a cycle which has two wheels, bicycle. Bi-weekly, weekly, bi-weekly, two times a week. God, demigod, demigod. This also indicates number. Okay, this also indicate number. And sometimes what you do is you also talk about demi I mean di. Here di you will see oxide and dioxide. Di means two oxides, carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide. So di means two oxides. Demi means half of the size. A god who is not up to the mark of the god, whose status is a bit lower to the existing gods, that person is called demi god. So demi means half size, and partial or to an inferior degree, so demigod, dioxide indicate the number or numerical value to some extent. So in the next line you will find monolingual. Lingual is the existing word, mono is added as a prefix, so you are forming monolingual. Mono means only one. Monotheism, a religion or a belief or a doctrine where you believe only you believe in the existence of only one god, that is called monotheism. So monolingual, monotheism, mono means one here. And in the next line you will find multicultural. Multi means a number of. Multicultural means a number of. India is a multicultural country, so you have a number of cultures here. As if a multi-purpose, something, a ground that is used for a number of purposes, where a number of games are played, or a ground that is used both for walking and playing, that can be called multi-purpose ground. So multicultural, multi-purpose, omnipotent, so totally potent. You have all the potency in the world, then you call it omnipotent. In all ways, if you are potent in all ways, then you call it omnipotent. Omniscient, if you have all the knowledge, then you call it omniscient. Another word is also there, omnipresent. It's not written there, but omnipresent is also there, the word omnipresent. Omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipotent, all the words are used in the context of referring to God. God is called omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. So in the next word you will see polygraph. Poly is number of. Polytheism, monotheism, polytheism, opposite words. Polygraph, Polytechnic, a number of arts, number of techniques. Polytechnic. Polyphony, a number of sounds. Polysyllabic, number of syllables. Polysyllabic word, monosyllabic word, polysyllabic word. Mono and poly are used as to refer to number. And in the next one you will find semicircle. Semicircle, half of the circle. Semi-final, a final that is played before the actual, a game that is played before the actual final, that is called semi-final. You will all you see in the context of cricket, semi-finals are played. And triangle, triangle, tri means three. And in the next word, unilateral means of an action or decision that is performed by or affecting only one person or group. It refers to only one. Unilateral, unanimous, sometimes you call it unanimous decision. So that means all of them have taken only one decision, or the decision has the support of all the persons. So uni means one. Unilateral is uni means one, and unilateral decision is the decision taken by only one person, whereas unanimous indicates the decision of all the persons. So be careful with regard to the meaning of that one. And now let us go to the exercise. I am giving you a small exercise here. If you are able to do, I would be very happy. So what you have to do is fill in the blanks in the following sentences with the words formed by combining the right prefixes and words in the list below. So a group of number of prefixes are given at the beginning of the exercise. Read them and read the examples that are there with some prefix blanks in the examples are having some blanks in them. So you have to fill the right word using the prefix. Let us take one or two examples, then you can do them very easily. Yeah, what are the prefixes that are listed? Multi, mal, miss, non, re, a, un, dis, productive. So these are the prefixes up to this. And in the next line the word is given: productive, stop, usable, like, political, nutrition, pronged, placed. So what we have to do is you have to combine the prefix and the word correctly and use that word in the given blanks in the sentences that follow. So let us take the first one. You will understand it easily. What is the first one? A large number of NGOs in India work for the people. They are not concerned with politics. They are NGOs. They do not profess allegiance to any political party. They do not have a political opinion of their own. They work in a neutral environment. So they are neutral as far as politics is concerned. So such people are, I have already told you during the class that such people are called apolitical. So you have to take the prefix a and add it to the word that is given there, political. So you have to form a new word which is very meaningful in this particular context, which is correct in the given blank. Apolitical, they are apolitical. What is the second one? The discussion was completely. Can you think of what is the word and what is the prefix that you have to add? Is it multi? Is it mal? Is it something else? Can you talk about that? The discussion, just keep thinking. I will go to the third one and come back to the second one so that you can think and answer. What is the third one? Studies show that a large number of children in rural areas of India suffer from. You always talk about in the context of suffering of people in rural areas. They do not have sufficient food, proper food. So nutrition is the word that comes here, but it should be used with proper fix to form a new word. So what kind of nutrition they suffer from? They suffer from malnutrition. The children in rural areas suffer from malnutrition. Yeah, what is the second one? Keep thinking, I will come back to that. And what is the fourth one? I think your trust in him is, your trust is wrong. Your trust in him is wrong. So that is called misplaced. Your trust in him is misplaced. You are not placing the trust in a proper person. And what is the second one? The discussion was completely multi, no, mal, no, miss, no, non, no, completely. Let me think about that. Completely unproductive. That is, the discussion did not yield any results, so you call it unproductive. You are using, you are discussing something that is not productive, that is no result is coming out of that discussion, that is called unproductive. So these are four examples which in which you have the prefixes are used, and in the next class we will take some more examples and try to study the prefixes properly. One assignment I am giving to you is that towards the end of the class, what you do is try to attempt this assignment. Combine each of the following words with a prefix to change its meaning. This is the first thing you have to do. And secondly, write down what the new word means. Form new words with the given words by adding a prefix, and write the meaning also. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. See you in the next class.